Well, a mother gets the doctor's diagnosis.
He said, "You need to sit down." And he said, Chris has a metal pin in his brain. My knees buckled, and I just hit the floor.
A spike in the head sours a guy's sweet tooth. Yeah, that can happen. We'll explain in the newsroom.
Look at this. I go anywhere I want now and trade. E-Trade Mobile Pro. Right on my BlackBerry. Hang on a sec. Hey, girl, can I hit you back?
New E-Trade Mobile Pro. There are 1,000 new accounts a day at E-Trade.
Econolodge has a new look and free Wi-Fi. To find out what else is new at Econolodge, visit choicehotels.com.
Really tough.
But again, we're not dealing with the issue.
Relentless.
This is anti-middle class.
Mr. Independent.
Doesn't anybody deserve a government that works?
Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 Eastern on CNN.
为什么天亮的时候，云朵总是那么的暗？
All the beauty this world has to offer should be a gift for all to see. Sharing timeless values. Samsung.
CNN, Soledad O'Brien, a year-long investigation across America. A story that unites, divides, and affects every American. See what it means today to be Black in America. July 23rd and 24th on CNN.
Breaking news, revealing developments. See for yourself in the CNN Newsroom.
Evacuation orders lifted for some in Southern California, but that doesn't mean the danger is over. CNN's Cara Finstrom is live in Goleta, California for us this morning. Cara, if you would, just give us a bit of an update on where things stand right now in Goleta.
Sure. Good morning, Tony. Well, the fear of firefighters right now is that there is hot weather on the way, hot, dry weather. And while they've had a significant break over the last couple days where they really feel they've made some good progress, they're concerned about that, and they're trying to gain as much control over this fire as they can. Right now, you can see we are at the Incident Command Post. This is where a lot of the organizing of the in-the-air attacks and the on-the-ground attacks takes place, and they're going to be very busy today trying to make the most of this time. Joining us live here right now, I want to bring in Art Morrison. He is with the Incident Command Post. Talk to us a little bit about the progress that has been made over the last few days and what you're anticipating today.
Well, I came off the line last night at about 9:30, and we had 3 hotshot crews that were doing burnout operations up in the very northwestern part of the fire, and it was very successful. So one of the crews didn't get back until about 1, and we'll be able to hopefully do some more burnout a little bit more this morning, clean up some stuff, and then wait for the downslope winds later this evening and do some more burnout.
They've been very, very busy. We want to show you some videotape. We actually followed a crew into the area that he's speaking about yesterday. They're going miles into rugged terrain. Our cameras were able to capture a flare-up in that area and then the crushing drop from a DC-10 that followed. And this gives you an idea of the fight that's underway up in those hills to try and get out, you know, the flames that are up there and gain as much control as they can. But they stress, well, they feel very confident right now about the progress they've made. They're kind of watching and waiting. They don't want to underestimate this one, Tony.
Hey, Cara, are we still at about 35% or so containment for that fire there near Goleta?
About 35% was the last number that we got here from Art this morning. They continue to update it, and we don't have the latest PIO around, so if you've got a more recent number than we do,
no, that's what
the
I have.
last we have right here is 35. Okay.
Oh, that's terrific. All right, Cara, good to see you. Thank you.
Georgia police say he strangled his daughter to protect his family's honor. A father now charged with murder. Manuel Borjorquez has the story. He's with affiliate WSB.
It was just after 3 a.m. when officers arrived at the home on Utah Drive in Jonesboro and soon discovered 25-year-old Sandela Kanwal had been killed. They arrested her father, Chaudhry Rashad, for the murder.
Apparently she and the father had argued over the marriage and the fact that it had been arranged, and at some point during the altercation he did end up killing his daughter.
Police say the family is from Pakistan. Her husband is in Chicago.
They've always been relatively quiet.
Word of the tragedy quickly spread through the neighborhood.
There's two females that you would generally see there, and my heart goes out to whomever, whichever one that it was, because they seem to be decent, lovely people.
And although the concept of arranged marriage seems foreign to many here, it's not to one neighbor.
No morals or ethics are important over life.
Anand Mehta is in a marriage that was arranged and has worked out. He says although it's a tradition in some cultures, this is not how it's supposed to end.
Something with my ethnic background, I'm from India, so I know the values of the family about arranged marriage and not having divorce and this and that, but values over life is not as important.
The practice is known as honor killing. Joining me now to explain it a little bit further is Ajay Nair. He is Associate Dean of Multicultural Affairs for Columbia University. Thanks for being with us, Professor. You know, I wonder what your immediate reaction was when you first heard this story.
My immediate reaction really was that this is an anomaly in the South Asian American community. Most South Asian American families enjoy wonderful relationships within their families.
How could it have gone this far then if this is something that is completely out of the ordinary?
You know, there really is no simple explanation for this. You know, I've thought about this quite a bit. You know, if you think about this in cultural or religious terms, it's really a hackneyed approach to this. If you think about it in terms of intergenerational strife, it's an oversimplification. Really, I think this becomes a kind of human rights issue to think about the kind of subjugation that women face in all communities, not just South Asian American communities.
Yeah, and I know that you had worked a little bit on the other case that happened. It was regarding an Indian family, and you talked a little bit about how it had something to do with the British. I mean, that was a little bit more understandable in that type of culture?
I'm not sure if it's understandable anytime there's a murder or killing.
Well, of course not.
Yeah,
but at least culturally, it is something that is more, if you will, acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the vast majority of people within the South Asian American community wouldn't find this acceptable at all and wouldn't tolerate it. I think, again, most enjoy very, very nice relationships with their family members.
So you're saying this is complete extremism?
This really is a kind of extremism, and I think, you know, there's ways that we can rationalize it and make sense of it, and particularly in thinking about new immigrant communities in the U.S. and thinking about some of the struggles that they face and the generation gap and the cultural differences that children do face. I think there are some issues there, but by and large, this isn't a rampant problem within South Asian American communities. What is a problem, I think, is domestic violence, and that cuts across all communities.
Well, yeah, and now you're talking a little bit more about something that we can begin to understand anyway. In fact, it seems like most of the cases that we do hear about, even in this sort of bizarre context, do talk about men killing women.
Yes.
Do we see that all the time? I mean, is it unusual for the man to be a victim in something like this?
I mean, overwhelmingly, women are the target in these cases, and I think the reason for that, unfortunately, and it's unjustified, is that women are oftentimes the carriers of the culture, are oftentimes the folks that people look to that carry on the culture from generation to generation. Yeah. And it's a way for men in these cases to reaffirm and assert their masculinity.
Yeah, well, what's the best way, do you think, for the American legal system now to end honor killings, especially, or to deal just with this one alone, if you're saying it's an anomaly? How do they deal with Chaudhry Rashad?
I really think there needs to be a significant human rights campaign. I mean, there is a campaign, but I think more people need to recognize this as a global issue. And I think it's not just a U.S. issue. I think it happens across the world. And I think people need to recognize domestic violence and any kind of violence related to women as a serious, serious issue.
Professor Ajay Nair, coming to us from Columbia University. We sure do appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Buying time and saving money, make your household appliances